Following the passing of Yu Menglong, mysteries continue to unfold as one behind-the-scenes scandal after another surfaces. Despite heavy censorship from the authorities, the public's drive to uncover the truth hasn't wavered for a second. Leaks regarding Deep Blue Media are now coming to light, including shocking rumors that EE Media owes Yu Menglong a staggering 200 million yuan in unpaid wages. But behind all of this, another high-profile figure has emerged, the incredibly influential Li Ruigang. So, what exactly is his background, and what does his track record tell us? Hi Tracers, Sean here and welcome back to Trace Zero. It turns out the Yu Menglong case isn't just your typical artist contract dispute. It's the gateway into a very dark labyrinth of power. The deeper we dig, the more big names start crawling out of the woodwork from agencies claiming they cut ties to media giants with direct links to the political elite. Today, we're going to untangle the web of capital that trapped Yu Menglong. Because believe me, what you've seen in the news so far is just the tip of the iceberg. Stay tuned because you never know how deep this hole goes. Not long ago, a netizen on social media leaked some intel claiming that after Yu Menglong's contract with EE Media expired, the next agency he was reportedly set to join was Tianjin Deep Blue Media. Now, when it comes to Deep Blue Media, do any of you actually know who's pulling the strings behind the scenes? Well, that person is none other than Zhang Wei, the wife of Fang Li, someone who was previously at the center of a massive public boycott. Aside from her, there are a few other names that might sound familiar, like Du Qiang, Zhou Pin, and He Xiaojin. These people aren't just random employees at Deep Blue Media. They also have a direct connection to the case surrounding Yu Menglong. After Yu Menglong's case broke, a leaked list of 17 people allegedly involved in that deadly banquet started circulating all over the internet. Fang Li's name is right there on that list. This is despite the fact that he previously claimed he didn't even know Yu Menglong. That excuse is a carbon copy of what the Black Widow, Tian Herong, said the pattern is identical. Grandma Tian even had the nerve to swear up and down, without even blinking, that she didn't know Yu Menglong either. But those claims were instantly debunked by photos leaked to the public. And if you think about it, the timing of when Tianjin Deep Blue Media was established feels pretty sketchy. The company was founded on the 1st of September 2015, and its location? The Tianjin Binhai New area. Now some of you might be thinking, so what? It's just a date. What's the big deal? But let's take a step back and look at the major events happening at that time, and you'll find something. Right at that moment, a massive explosion rocked Tianjin, shocking the entire world. That disaster happened on the 12th of August 2015, and the location exactly in the Binhai New area. Deep Blue Media was officially formed just 2 weeks after that tragic explosion. It's no wonder people are getting suspicious. Doesn't the timing feel a bit too convenient? As for the actual cause of that devastating blast, there are plenty of versions floating around. However, according to political analysts, there are political analyses suggesting that the Jiang Zemin family intentionally planned the Tianjin incident as an assassination attempt on Xi Jinping to seize power. Meanwhile, from a metaphysical or occult perspective, the massive explosion is believed to be part of a mysterious black magic ritual. The pattern is seen as similar to Yu Menglong's death, and the massive fire in Hong Kong where the 3 burning incense sticks phenomenon is suspected to carry a very dark, symbolic meaning. Basically, it's as if they don't care about sacrificing innocent lives just to hold on to power. And because the Tianjin explosion case hides so many dark secrets, word is that Qiao Renliang was murdered a year later because he knew too much about what really happened behind that incident. Circling back to the connection with Deep Blue Media, it turns out this company is a wholly owned subsidiary of CMC, China Media Capital Group. If we dig even deeper, we'll find that the big boss behind it all is Li Ruigang. We're talking about a heavyweight here, not just some random exec. Li Ruigang has incredibly tight ties with the top-tier elite of the Chinese Communist Party. Many outsiders speculate that he's actually one of the key figures behind the Yumang Long case. In fact, not long after the Yumang Long case broke, his name was among the first big fish leaked by netizens as a mastermind behind the scenes. Over on the Streets platform, several netizens also revealed that CMC Group is a massive juggernaut with staggering financial power and political influence. Under his control are more than 20 companies that virtually dominate the entire film and television industry in China. Even major media outlets like Caixin and TVB Hong Kong fall under his umbrella. It doesn't stop there. He's also a shareholder in CAA, one of the top 3 talent agencies in Hollywood. As it turns out, CAA is the very agency that oversees the director training program where Yu Menglong was signed. And that's not all. It turns out, Huawei Xingkong, the company that was recently dragged into the Coco Lee scandal, is also under the massive CMC Group canopy. Just imagine a giant corporation with a grip that reaches across almost every corner of the entertainment industry in China. You can only imagine the sheer amount of power and capital required to run an industrial chain this massive. Every line of business they own involves astronomical human resource costs. From A-list stars to fresh talent, it's safe to say his power has to be absolute to move all the film and television resources in China. Names like EE Media or Deep Blue Media might not even register compared to CMC Group. They're in a completely different league. What's truly spine-chilling is the fact that over the last few years, several tragic deaths of artists reported in the media always seem to lead back to companies under their wing. This inevitably sparks a major suspicion. Have these companies actually been subjecting their artists to brutal exploitation and modern-day slavery all along? Based on publicly available data and information. CMC Group was officially founded in late 2015. With Li Ruigang serving as its founder, chairman, and CEO. Beyond that, he holds a string of high-profile positions, including non-executive director at TVB Hong Kong, chairman and non-executive director at Shaw Brothers Holdings, and even dean of the School of Creativity and Art at Shanghai Tech University. If you look at his track record, this man's background is no joke. He previously served as the director of the Shanghai Radio and Television Station, President of Shanghai Media Group, SMG, and even Deputy Secretary General of the CPC Shanghai Municipal Committee. These roles cover almost every corner of the government's propaganda and brainwashing machinery. Li Ruigang doesn't just have an official government background. Widespread rumors suggest he has a very close relationship with Li Tong, the daughter of former Politburo Standing Committee member Li Changchun. They are reportedly more than just business partners, they're life partners, essentially living as husband and wife. It was thanks to this connection with Li Tong that Li Ruigang's position skyrocketed, making him the most powerful figure in Shanghai's broadcasting system, especially considering Li Changchun was the man who once held absolute control over China's entire ideology and propaganda sector. Some leaks even claim that Li Ruigang doesn't just control the capital chain of China's film and TV industry, but is also strongly suspected of being the puppet master behind the Yu Menglong tragedy. Public info shows that Li Tong herself serves as the CEO of BOC International Holdings. In 2009, she initiated the CMC Investment Fund, which received lightning-fast approval from the National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC. Many financial giants quickly jumped on board this investment fund. The peak came in July 2012, when the hit talent show The Voice of China officially aired on Zhejiang TV, a collaboration between the station and CanSing Production under Star China Media. Reports from overseas suggest that through this program, the CMC Investment Fund managed to rake in astronomical profits. Just imagine, from the ad revenue of the first season alone, the amount collected surpassed 1.7 billion yuan, roughly $235 million USD. But wait, that 17 billion yuan, approx $2.35 billion figure, wasn't earned through fair advertising competition. Word is, Li Ruigang used his power within the Shanghai Media Group, SMG, to force the illegal diversion of ad funds from TV programs under SMG's umbrella. That massive 17 billion yuan was instead funneled to prop up the Voice of China on Zhejiang TV. Li Ruigang and Li Tong are suspected of using black box operations, essentially backroom deals to package Star China Media and Canixing production for an IPO. The goal was clear: to reap even larger profits. This is a classic tactic used by red princeling families, descendants of the party elite, to siphon off the nation's wealth. At this point, we need to touch on the Voice of China. The legendary diva, Coco Lee, remained professional during the shoot despite battling cancer and a severe leg injury. However, she couldn't accept the competition rules, which she saw as blatantly unfair. Because she had the courage to speak the truth and criticize the rigged system, she was threatened by the production team and even intentionally humiliated, causing her to fall on stage. After audio and video recordings of Coco Lee's tearful breakdown exposing the rot and injustice behind the scenes of The Voice of China leaked to the public, it sparked massive controversy and a nationwide boycott. Finally, in 2023, under immense public pressure, the show was officially canceled. Many analysts believe the Chinese government was actually terrified that much darker secrets, far beyond a simple music show scandal, might come to light. Secrets that are in fact much bigger and more horrifying. Sometimes, to distract from a major event, they play the sacrifice the pawn to save the king tactic, deliberately throwing someone under the bus to split the netizens' focus and maintain public stability. Now, back to Li Tong's CMC investment fund. Public records show that in 2016, CMC Group poured billions of yuan into Mango Excellent Media, officially becoming its second largest shareholder. EE Media is a subsidiary of Mango Excellent Media. Rumor has it that in 2018, Yu Menglong tried to terminate his contract with EE Media. At the time, he took the drastic step of unfollowing EE Media's official Weibo account and announced he had joined CAA, one of Hollywood's top 3 talent agencies, through their director training program. But here's the catch. CMC Group is also a major shareholder in CAA. This means whether it's EE Media, Mango TV, CMC, CAA, or even Deep Blue Media, they are all trapped in the same spiderweb of massive financial interests. Everything is deeply intertwined. It's a giant, multi-layered capital network where one layer conceals the next. So, even though Yu Menglong tried to move to a different agency, he was actually still under the thumb of the exact same capital circle. When you see it this way, it becomes crystal clear why Deep Blue Media, Yu Menglong's new agency, chose to stay silent when the case broke. It's no longer a mystery why they kept their mouths shut despite the public outcry. No matter how much people scream from the outside, they'll keep the doors bolted shut. Why? Because when it comes to the money, they're all essentially one big family. From start to finish, Yu Menglong never truly escaped the grip of that same giant capital machine. Hey everyone, before we dive into the video, we want to announce that we're launching a brand new segment called Trace Your Story. For this segment, you can send us a real-life story you've experienced, from horror and cheating to crime or any other true story you have. Send us your story at Sean Varel, traceyourstory@gmail.com, using this format. Email subject, trace your story. Story title, your title here. Tell us your experience in as much detail as possible. Feel free to include any supporting photos or evidence if you have them. Optional contact, your WhatsApp number or another way we can reach you for more information. Don't worry, you can absolutely send your story anonymously if you prefer. We'll do our best to create a video and tell your experience. I'm really looking forward to your emails, and who knows, your story might be the very first one featured on Trace Your Story. Don't forget to submit your stories. I'll be waiting and can't wait to read them. Following Yu Menglong's passing, EE Media issued a swift statement claiming that their contract with him had actually ended years ago. They even doubled down, insisting that, legally speaking, there were no longer any financial ties between the two parties. Of course, that's just EE Media's side of the story. But what about the actual facts on the ground? According to leaks from netizens, Yu Menglong's manager allegedly signed a contract worth 22.5 million yuan approx. $3.1 million in his name, without the artist ever knowing. As a result, the entire financial loss and debt pressure from that contract fell squarely on Yu Menglong personally, rather than his manager. And yet, we can all see the reality of the situation. EE Media provided absolutely no proper support or facilities for Yu Menglong. Yet, strangely, such a massive financial burden was left for him to carry all alone. Just think about it. Doesn't this look like a form of disguised modern-day slavery? Other leaks even mention a contract termination penalty reaching 200 million yuan, $27.6 million, after he passed away. A draft of a contract with these astronomical figures leaked online. Inside that contract, there was a brutally cold compensation formula. If calculated based on his commercial value at the peak of his career, should he terminate the contract unilaterally, he would face that 200 million yuan demand. Many see this as a predatory tactic by the company to seize the fruits of his hard work that should have been his for years. So, this debt isn't just numbers on a page. It includes hidden costs like incredibly cruel labor exploitation. Because of this, public opinion widely holds that during Yu Menglong's tenure with EE Media, which lasted at least 10 years, the net compensation he actually received was nowhere near the extraordinary commercial value he generated for the company. This practice of paying low wages while the company takes the lion's share of the profits is seen by fans as EE Media essentially being in long-term debt to Yu Menglong. With the talent and visuals Yu Menglong possessed, he should have had endless opportunities to appear before the public. But strangely, he never received the exposure he deserved. So, the question is, why did that happen? Everyone agrees that Yu Menglong had a striking look and a refreshing vibe. A few years back, variety shows in mainland China were booming. If his agency had put in even the slightest effort, he could have easily become a top-tier star. Recently, a variety show director within the industry leaked that Yu Menglong's potential was so immense that he should have exploded in popularity long ago. However, for years, his agency intentionally snowballed or froze his career, causing him to miss out on countless golden opportunities for public exposure. After Yu Menglong's passing, the public raised massive doubts regarding the cause of his death. They lashed out at the agency for sabotaging his career and demanded justice for him, amid allegations of abuse. The case has drawn staggering attention, with over 300 billion views. You could say this wave of public opinion hit like a tsunami, sweeping through the entire domestic entertainment industry. EE Media immediately put out a damage control statement claiming his contract ended long ago and they were in the dark about the facts. With just a few sentences, they tried to wash their hands of it and shift the blame. If we follow their logic, he signed in 2013 and his 8-year contract ended around 2021 when he set up his own studio and moved to another agency. That new agency is what netizens leaked as Deep Blue Media. For a long time, Tianjin Deep Blue Media has kept a very low profile, seemingly hiding from the spotlight to avoid exposure. It's as if they let EE Media take the full force of the public's rage, while they, the ones actually producing the content, just sat on the sidelines and watched. Looking back at that variety director's leak, she said it was incredibly bizarre. For all those years she planned shows and scouted stars, Yu Menglong's name never once crossed her mind. And it wasn't just her. Across every production team in that company, nobody ever thought of him when designing a program. The director noted that as a talent show alum with great looks, especially during the era when 3 Lives, 3 Worlds was a massive hit, he had already successfully crossed over into the mainstream. If the company wanted to make money, they could have pushed him to the front. Given his great character and appearance, we aren't even saying they had to make him the Hasshone star, but at least give him some visibility. The agency had the power to do it, but they simply didn't. During the peak of the variety show market, so many little fresh meat idols were made famous. That's why she said the way this company froze Yu Menglong's career was truly heartless. Many people looking at this feel that these capitalists have truly lost their minds. This collision of power and capital has become a major international scandal, yet strangely, the police still haven't opened an official investigation. It's as if these top-tier elite families have the power to cover up the entire truth by themselves. So, tracers, all the threads we've pulled today, from the EE media contract traps to the massive reach of the CMC Group, lead to one bitter reality. Yumang Long was just a small pawn in a very cruel game of capital. They might have the power to silence the law, but they cannot silence the truth we continue to speak. I'm Sean, and thank you for sticking with this case until the end. If you're still watching this, maybe you're looking for the same thing I am.